Well, welcome back to Fired Up Garage. This morning we're just doing some maintenance on this old mower that we got. It had no spark, tested it out. So this is the coil. I'll show you where that was, but the coil is bad on this one, so we're going to replace it this morning, and then we're going to fire it up. So this is a 15.5 horse overhead valve Briggs Stratton engine, and we're going to replace the coil on it. So I already removed, there was a cover here, so basically you got to get this top cover off. You remove the two screws here from the starter cover, and then there's a screw, a bolt here, bolt here. There's two bolts on the front, and there's one bolt on this back corner over there. So once you take all that off, you can just lift the cover off. Your dipstick is going to come with all of this as you take it off. So if you're worried about what's underneath, you might want to get a rag ready, and that just lifts off like that. And then our coil goes right here. I already removed this one and tested it. So the coil goes like this right here, and it's basically just an electromagnet. So on your flywheel you have a dissimilar metal, and every time it passes by the coil it creates an electrical current. And this coil that was on here was bad, so I ordered a new one. Ordered it on Amazon. The way that you figure out which one you need, if you have one of these older mowers or something, is you get the engine code, model number, all that kind of stuff up here on the front. You can go on Briggs Stratton's website and you put in that information there, and then you can actually get the entire owner's manual for your tractor, and you can also get a parts list on there. So I just looked that up, found which coil I needed, it gave me the part number, and then I went on on Amazon, and looked up that part number and found the coil. It was about, for these riding lawnmowers, 15.5, I think it was about 35 bucks or something like that. So I ordered a new coil. I got a new spark plug boot at the same time, oil filter, all that kind of stuff. So we'll do some basic service on it as we go. And you get a tool, a free tool. When you buy the coil, this is actually your tool. So you have to shim the coil to be on a certain distance from the flywheel. And so they give you a card that is the correct distance in this case. So we're gonna lay that in there and make sure that it's the proper distance between the flywheel and the armature so that it doesn't have any problems. So I got the old coil and the new coil here so you can see the differences. The new coil is a little bit smaller. This is the same part number, but I think it's been updated over the years. One other difference is that this point right here where you hook up the kill wire on it is a little bit further over. This is upside down now, but a little bit further over to the right here. This one's a little further over to the left. So I needed some more wire because the wire wouldn't reach it. So I just had to reach down in here, and you can get some more wire because it's got extra in this loom. So I just had to pull a little bit more wire through and up so that will reach all the way over there. And then on your coil, it actually says, if you look closely, it says this side out, and then it says cylinder side, so that tells you which way this orients. I already checked the length of the spark plug wire, and that's all good. I bought a boot for it, so we'll put the boot on there, and then we'll go ahead and throw this thing on and see if we can fire it up. So I got a new spark plug for it. We'll go ahead and swap that out real quick. Old spark plug. Got the new plug, nice and clean. I went ahead and got the Briggs Stratton one because it wasn't that much more expensive. Alright, new plug's in. Now let's go ahead and slap our coil on here. I'm going to actually attach the spark plug wire first. sits here. We gotta hook up this shut-off wire right here. Alright, got the shut-off wire hooked up, and this is gonna sit right here like this. We're gonna have to gap that, but let me grab the screws for it. So we got these two longer screws. So we'll just kind of lightly snug that. We still have to gap it, don't forget. Alright, so they're snugged up, but we can still move it. And then you're going to slide this in there. And that's going to be your gap right there for each side. Alright, so we got our shim in there. We've got those kind of loosely tightened up. I'll see if I can do this one-handed. It's not very much space at all. It's got to be pretty tight on there. Alright, so we got that side. Okay. Got that in there. Pressing it tight. So we got our distance correct there. Everything's hooked up on the coil, so now we just got to put the cover back on and test it. So now it's time to put our cover back on. We're going to go ahead and lay the starter motor cover back on first. It gets bolted on top, but you can't get it on very easily without putting it in place first. And then we're going to put our engine cover on here. You can see there's a little groove where our spark plug wire can run without being straight up against that flat edge. So as we lower it down, make sure your dipstick goes back into place and doesn't get one of those wires pinched in it. Then you just kind of work it on. Oops, that's gonna go. The starter cover has to go on the outside here, like this. Easier with two hands. Normally I have my tripod for this, but I don't have it this morning, sadly. Alright, now that all looks good, then we just put the screws back in all of this. And so you just have a series of a couple of machine screws, and then these two that have the funky shoulder on them go up here on the front. A couple of spots up there on the front for those. Tighten it all down and we'll see if we can fire this thing up. Alright, so we just wrapped up the replacement of the coil and the spark plug on this one. You might be asking yourself, why not just take it in somewhere and get it fixed? We probably saved $100 on the repair by doing this ourselves. Some of you guys might be saying, why are you fixing that old tractor anyways? This is a 2002, so this is 18 years old, and you know, 30, 50 bucks a year or something, you keep it going. And I know sometimes it'd be easier to just pick up a new one and be done with it, but my goal is to keep this thing going as long as possible so I can keep that $750 or $1,000 for a new one invested in other stuff. This thing will probably last me maybe 30, 40 years if I take care of it, you know? So that's what I'm going for. That's why we fix them. Let's see if it'll fire up. So there you go. We had no spark. Went ahead and tested the coil out, replaced the coil, replaced the plug, fires up perfectly, first time. So we are back on the road, back on the yard. So have a great day, keep firing them up.